Welcome, 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 everyone. It's time for Funnel Fridays. Thank you for joining us. Come on in, everyone. This is Dawn Marie, the Bullioness, and what's going to happen here with Funnel Fridays is we're going to go through this fantastic training by one of the Rapid Funnel account executives that's dedicated to our Advancement Navigator app. And then from there, Antoine is going to give us a fantastic talk to get us all fired up. I'll go through a work session and help those that are brand spanking new to just at least get set up on their app. And from there, we'll open it up to Q&A. So if you have any questions, now on the Q&A section, we do ask that you just leave it to features or little things that you're having difficulty with. But if it's a big technical issue, that's where support's going to be able to troubleshoot you. And without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce you to our fantastic account executive who's going to be running today's Funnel Friday training. It's week number 4. Her name is Jen Hageman out of Connecticut, and she is a pro in network marketing. And she saw a vision to join Patrick at Rapid Funnel. Go ahead and take it away, Jen.
I'm excited that you guys are using this app, as Dawn shared, because I think with this app, you'll see what I saw with it, which is that this is a game changer for our industry in a rather huge way. And I'll spend a second on that, particularly with this training, because our industry is a relationship business. That it doesn't matter, what your product is, what makes our hang on one second. I'm just going to click this. What makes our industry so different is the relationship. And the goal of everything really here is to have that conversation with someone, to have that connection. So the challenge, and I know some of you might have tried like mass media type things, or might have even tried becoming a digital influencer or lots of other things. And for some of you, that could work. That could be really strong. But what really makes our industry and network marketing so powerful is the ability to duplicate. That's what creates that ongoing residual asset type of income. And so you want to have tools and systems that allow that duplication to happen. That's where I struggled. There were a lot of things that I was willing to do, but I couldn't necessarily get my team to do it, or there'd be confusion, or there'd be a whole lot of things would show up. And when I found this app, I realized this is the answer. This is the game changer. This is a system that anyone can implement. And your Advancement Navigator app is beautiful, and it's also very, very duplicatable. So the huge challenge today with social media and with everything digital is that we are inundated with digital impressions. We see about 5,000 a day. And so it's very challenge. How do you get your message seen? How do you get it read? How do you get it listened to? The advantage of our industry of network marketing is that it will get listened to because they know you. That's really the secret sauce. And so what this app does for you is it combines the best of technology, but it combines it with that relationship. And relationships are really what matter. Relationships are, if some random text popped in your phone, you'd kind of look at it and think it's spammy right away. But if you get a text from someone you're going to take a look at it. Now, your day might be busy, might not respond right away, but it is going to get opened. It is going to get saved. Same thing goes for an email. So one of the things that we have to do in this business, and I don't care, sort of how long you've been in the business, it's always the same thing. You want to be making sure that you have a high enough quantity of leads and people that you're talking to that you can work the numbers in your favor, because at any given time, it may or may not be the right time for someone to be considering your particular opportunity or any opportunity. And one of the things that this app will do for you is that we know that at some point it's highly likely to be the right time for that person. But most people aren't necessarily so great with follow-up. They either don't know what to do, or they forget about people, or they get busy with other stuff. And so this app has that baked right in, so that you have a way to have that quantity be high, but then also have the quality of the follow-up and the communication be really high, so that you can keep someone in your circle of contacts without sort of overwhelming you. There's a bunch of systems in here that are built right in that we'll go over. And the other dynamic that's huge, and this was certainly my case, and I'm sure that some of you have experienced this, you send out information to someone, they seem super interested when you first talk to them, and you send information out to them, and then you have no idea when you're about to do your follow-up whether they got it, whether they looked at it, whether they watched it all, what actually happened. What I loved when I first saw this app was that this app is going to tell you, did they open it? Did they watch 1 second of it, or did they watch the full 2.5 minutes or whatever the piece is? So you suddenly have information on that person, and you know whether or not they are a strong prospect. So that's just a huge advantage right there. You're not just shooting into a dark cave. And this really is the culture, if you will, of this app, but also of our industry. This is a relationship industry. And I know that there are a lot of other things out there which say, hey, you just throw enough spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. And it is a numbers game to a certain degree, but the relationship that you have with someone and the quality of your follow-up is going to change it from being just throwing spaghetti against the wall to actually being something that down the road could turn into something that would work for that person. So this is what the app is all about, is how do you build in a way that you protect the integrity of your relationship, and yet you also are working with the people that are interested, and then you have a system and a plan for following up with the people who've just said, not yet, not right now. So we have to really keep things simple, because when a new person comes on board, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know where to start. So that's why your app is structured 1, 2, 3. It's very, very simple. When you open it up, whether if you're sharing the product or you're sharing the opportunity, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So they know exactly what to do. We also have preloaded messages. So again, they aren't wondering, they can modify them, but they aren't wondering, what do I say? And you want to get really good at promoting. And honestly, what I do is I promote the app, because the app to me solves most people's questions of, can I do this and how do I do this? And so I just show people the app and I let them know this is how our team does it. And I let them take a look and they see it's 1, 2, 3. It's very straightforward. They can see that they don't have to generate or create anything. The other part of the app that's huge, and this is a mindset thing, and many of you, you're here, you're with the opportunity, so this might not apply to you, but most people take somewhere between 3 to 7 exposures before they're really ready, or before they're at a place where they can give this some mental bandwidth to kind of take a look at either your product or your business. So you have to have a system for keeping those exposures going, and keeping those exposures so that they're not spammy and they actually are something that the person will read and take a look at. And that's all built into your app. The team, Don and Antoine, have done an amazing job with creating this and getting the content so that it's nice and tight. And the transition, the whole goal of the app is to get you in a conversation with the person. It's not just to keep sort of sending them links. It's to really get them to a place where they will have a conversation with you, either in person or over a cup of coffee, or they'll come to a Zoom, or they'll do a 3-way call, because I'm sure you feel the same way. If you can actually talk to someone, it changes the whole game in terms of their relationship with you, their relationship with looking at the information. You have a chance to ask questions, and you have a chance to find out, what are they actually looking for? So the goal is to get them off the app and into a conversation. The app just helps that process along and allows your new person to duplicate that process and implement it really quickly. And the transition question that we really want to have with people, especially if they do one of the surveys, where they're going to answer some questions for you about how much money they want to earn, how many hours a week they can do this, how many months they'd be committed to doing that. And this app gives you a way to have them fill out a survey, find out if they did the survey, so you're not just blindly sending it up, and then getting them to that conversation where you can then have that conversation. You're looking at their survey, you're looking at their notes, and you can say, look, were you serious when you said you wanted to earn an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month? And were you serious when you said you could probably give this 5 hours or 7 hours a week? So it puts you in a place where you can have a good conversation with them and help them make that decision. And you are also then in a place to be able to say, okay, if you're serious about those, if I could show you a way to do it, would that be worth some time for you, for us to sit down and connect and get the details worked out? So it's always going to be a no, unless you ask someone to have that conversation with you. But what this flow does for you is it just allows you to have them educated, have them pre-qualify themselves a little bit so that by the time you're having a conversation with someone, you know that they are a strong person to be having a conversation. The other thing that the app does for you is if you look at the front page and it tells you how many exposures you've done versus how many engagements you've gotten, that tells you your numbers. And, some people's numbers are stronger than other people's numbers. Maybe they've been in another business where they had really good relationships with people and they've got a very deep network. Other people are maybe in their 20s and they're just kind of new and they don't really have a lot of contacts. So everyone's numbers might be different. Someone might ask 10 people to look and get 6 or 7 to say yes. Some people might ask people to look and get 2 or 3 to say yes. So what you want to use the app for is to look at your numbers, because knowing your numbers will really set you free. Because when you know, I need to invite X number of people to get Y number of people to look at the information, then you can map out what your plan is for getting to certain levels in income and certain levels within your business. And so that is super empowering when you have those numbers. And then you also have to decide and just enjoy the fact that what's the transition going to be? Is it going to be a phone call? Is it going to be a Zoom? Is it going to be a 3-way call? Is it going to be an event? So have a plan and understand that the goal of the app is to help you decide, figure out who's really a strong prospect, keep that relationship getting better and better and better, and then allowing you to be able to go and take it personally into that next conversation, which is really powerful. So your challenge this week is just to go through your contacts. Hopefully, as you've been putting your contacts in, you've been giving them a rating, and take a look at your contacts by 5-star. Look at your strongest ones first. Look at your newest ones to your oldest ones. Look at your whoever's most recent and see where they're at. And then log into your app and find an appropriate follow-up conversation or piece or resource for that person and send that to them to keep them in that flow and keep that conversation going, because that really will make a huge difference for you. So Dawn, is there anything else that you wanted to cover? Because that is the end of the slides here, but I'm happy to cover some more if you'd like that done.
No, I'm good. And I know that Antoine wanted to do some training. So let's go ahead and hand it over to Antoine.
I want to thank everyone for being here and just the support that's been given around the system and making sure people understand the value and, more importantly, how to use it to grow their business. So one of the features that I really, really love about the app is the ability, when there are Zoom meetings, that you learn how to send out your Zoom link through the app by going into the events and clicking on that event. And people can RSVP for that Zoom meeting. And it gives them a countdown clock, and it can add to their calendar and send them reminders of the Zoom, where we become system dependent as opposed to people dependent, leveraging a tool like this. And it is very, very professional. And when you are able to show that prospect that you can use a tool like this and show them the simplicity of what we're doing and how we're doing it, it makes it duplicatable for them. It helps them to understand, man, if she can do it, I could do it. The same thing. I can leverage this same tool and I can send it to my prospects, and I can have the Zoom link that I send to my people and have it come back to my digital business page. We have to learn how to master that. So don't be afraid to play with this app. Don't be afraid to send it to your spouse or your significant other or to your friend or to your cousin so that they can see and you can see and understand the process and get comfortable with it. And as she stated, understanding what your numbers need to be, because everyone's numbers are going to be different. This is all a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. Any business is a numbers game. If we open up a restaurant, it's about how many people will come into our restaurant to dine. It's a numbers game. So any business is all about the numbers. But this is a simplistic way to create that duplication so that we can go through the numbers. And don't be afraid to go through the numbers. Don't be afraid to go through the numbers. Don't be afraid to meet new people and add them to your contacts and ask them, can I send you some information about what I do? Don't be afraid to do that. That's simple. You didn't tell them what you did. You didn't mention at cost metal. If they say, well, what do you do? I'm in gold and silver. Oh, okay. But I like to just send you some information and leverage the system to do the talking for you. I'm loving it. I'm a seasoned vet and I'm loving it, because it just simplified it. And I could do it while I'm doing something else. I'm multitasking. I'm getting permission, leveraging everything that it has to offer. I wanted to stress that, because I've been putting the traditional Zoom link and posting that on my social media page. But I'm telling you, I'm going to start posting on my page my own personal link for the Advancement Navigator. So you're not going to want to share my Facebook page to invite, because it has my link. You're going to want to use your link through the Advancement Navigator so that it points people direct to you. You can copy the content, but then paste your link. And then we've gamified it. We've got a contest going where you can earn an award of getting your Get Ahead monthly coin covered for 2 months by just simply leveraging the system and the tools and getting engagement. That's what we're doing. One of my directs, I directly introduced him. He's number 2. So, I mean, people are using the system. Take advantage of it, guys. It's easy. So, Don, that's all I have at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And I just wanted to share something with everyone today, and then we'll go through, for those that are brand new newbies, a little working session. There is a scoring system. There's 2 different scoring. One is automatic for the people that you add. As they engage, their score will go up based on their actions. And then the star scoring is what you're going to assign them. And you can set up your own star scoring however you wish. But these are the ones that Patrick had mentioned, and I really like them. In your mind, you ask yourself, is this person of entrepreneurial spirit? Yes, they get a star. Are they money motivated? If so, yes, they get a star. Are they positive and resourceful, self-sufficient, always looking for solutions? If yes, give them a star. That means that they would be, if they had 3 yeses, they're at 3 star. Are they influential? Do they have contacts? So if you have a huge influencer or a big network marketer, you're going to give them another star. Finally, are they reputable? Are they credible? And he had mentioned, are they interested in building the business? If so, give them a 5 star. So that's going to help you to be able to pull up your people that you know are 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star based on your ratings. And let me show you where you do this. We're going to go to April. And so right next to her name where it says April Test, you see the 5 stars in faded out. So let's say based on that criteria, I want to give her a 3-star. So that's cool. And here we have under Steffi, you see there's a score of 32. That's based on her engagements. And then the star rating is your determination. All right. So what I wanted to do, so what we'll do here is we'll just do a quick little work session for those that are brand spanking new, just opening up everything. The most important thing when you turn on your app is that you go into your profile and you make sure that your referral code is in your profile. I mean, because that's going to make the difference. If someone clicks join, it will not integrate with the AdvNav website until you do this. So at the bottom here on the right, it says more. You're going to click on more. And then at the top, it says settings. You're going to click on settings. And then here, you're going to scroll down to where it says ACM referral code. You're going to make sure that you edit this and that it is not a URL. So it doesn't say the HTTP www dot. It's just the code that you created. And just a FYI, what I think is really interesting is AdvNav decided to call it a referral code. Some people believe that the referral code has to be numeric, but that's not the case. And just last night, I had someone sign up with a very common name, Susie. Susie was still available. So keep in mind, even though it says code, it does not mean that it has to be numeric. And so as you're signing people up, let them know, try your first name. You don't have to try Susie 1, 2, 3, 4. Just try the first name first and see if it's still there. Because you'd be amazed at how many people make that assumption that a common name like John or Mary has already been taken with AdvNav. And if it hasn't, you've got it. You want it, unless you have it branded that way, the name of the game is keep everything as short and sweet and easy to type as possible. So you want to make sure that this is, that the first thing you do is you come into this profile, you update your referral code. If you want to add all your social media stuff, you could do that later. Whenever, to get started, you just want to go into account settings, make sure that you have your phone number in, and most importantly, that your time zone is correct for you. Then all the events are going to be based on the correct time zone. So you would hit save. We didn't make any changes. Let's go back here. And then what we're going to do is after I do this, we'll open it up for questions. But to get started, we highly recommend that you add yourself. So when you add yourself, you can send yourself a resource and you can see what they're going to receive. To add yourself, at the very bottom here, in the middle, is a little silhouette of a person with a plus sign. Go ahead and click that and just add yourself. Okay, and then I'm just going to put in a fake phone number. Oops, and a fake. This is not my real email. So now the first prompt is, do you want to add them to the email campaign? So you're going to add yourself to the email campaign. So click yes. I want you to know that when you do this, it's going to generate an opt-in email. So after you do this, you're going to need to go flip to your email and click on the link and accept the opt-in. Otherwise, you will not receive any of our emails from this ACM campaign, which is just generic about precious metals. And we're getting some great articles. I really appreciate you guys. If you find some great articles on precious metals, definitely send them in. Oh, and one thing I just wanted to say before I continue on, we're just getting started here, guys. We're in soft launch. And so this is built out so that you can hit the pavement running, but it's just going to keep getting better and better and better as we have more coaching coming on board, as we have more resources, more surveys for different demographics. So watching this AdvNav app in 6 months, it's going to look very different than it does now, because as Patrick mentioned last week, we're going to see what works and we're going to focus on what works. All right, so we're going to assign this person, and then I could even schedule a follow-up. So let's say I want to follow up with myself. This is just, again, so that you can see what it's going to be like when someone does a follow-up. Set time. I'm going to follow up at 1:30 p.m. I could have put a note in there, but I just want to do this quick. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And then you can click on yourself and go into event invite or send resource. You could click on add cost metals, any of these categories, again, just to test. And then you can click on one. And if you wanted to email it to yourself, now, this is another thing. If your email is not already set up on your phone, I have an iPhone here. So when you are on an Android, the interface is going to look a little bit different. But if you have never set up your email, your telephone, your mobile to send out emails, you're going to have to go into the settings and do that before this will work. But I'm already set up. So I'm going to hit this. It's going to give me sample verbiage. It's going to give me a hot link that is unique and trackable. And then all I have to do is click go, and I just sent it. All right. And that's basically all I wanted to share today. So I'm going to go ahead. If you have a question, if you don't mind raising your hand or typing it in the chat, we'll go into that, unless Jen or Antoine have anything else that they want to say at this moment in time.
The one thing I would say is I had a meeting this morning with another leader and a group that had new prospects. They were introducing new prospects. They wanted to introduce me. I got on that Zoom, and they had already seen a presentation, had already seen some information, but they did ask me to go over another presentation again because they had new people on. But let me tell you what did it for that leader that really started all of this. They used this system, and they sent the information through the system. And the lady who was a seasoned in the industry said she was floored by the system. Her and another gentleman, they had been promised some tools before with another company, never got them, but they were very, very impressed with the simplicity of this system. I say that to say that it works. So go ahead, Don.
Okay, fantastic. It looks like we have a question from Jim, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute Jim. Okay, Jim, you are, go right ahead with your question.
Hi, Don, ladies. You guys are doing a great job. Antoine, you're a superstar. Appreciate how easy you're making it for us. When we're sharing to contacts, so say we got 100 contacts uploaded, can we share to multiple contacts at once, or do we need to do each one individually?
If you want it trackable, then it's individual. So that means you add them to the contact either by importing them on your mobile phone or adding them manually one at a time. And then if you wanted to send it out to a whole bunch of people, you can just send it out this way. Let me show you. But it will not be trackable. So here's where I would recommend that you don't do this, because then you have no idea if anybody has done it. So if you're talking about sending it to multiple people at once, that would be like social media. When you want to post something, it's not going to be trackable. You can click on the more button. And from here, if it's an event, you would click on the event, or you could click on resources, or even from the main page, if you wanted to do an untrackable mass sharing, you could just click on the resource. Maybe you just want to share your business card. So when you do this link here, is not going to be trackable, but you could send it out to a whole bunch of people at once or post it all over the internet. But if you want to be part of this leaderboard and get to the top, like then then you should be dedicated to adding everybody by adding them through the contacts first, and then hitting either the plus sign or at the very top here on the right, it has that import where you can import them from your phone. And that's what I would recommend. I would say take the time to add them, because if you do so, then you're going to have all the statistics for each individual person.
And Don,
listen,
I'm just gonna jump in here.
Yeah,
you know, the slow way's the fast way here.
Yes.
There's a lot of noise out there. People are getting bombarded with texts, with emails, with Facebook message, with Instagram, everything. What makes this powerful is when you go into a contact and send a resource one at a time from that contact, and then send the resource. It's trackable so that you have the information, but more importantly, it is coming from you directly. It's not spammy. It's going to get opened and looked at. And that's really what you want is, it doesn't matter if you send something out to people if they never open it. You want them to open it. You want them to read your message. You want them to click on your video. You want them to take your survey. And the way that happens is go into the contact, send the resource through the contact, and it makes a world of difference. It's what gets your message looked at is doing it that way, and that's much more efficient in the long run, and also more respectful of your time and the person, and honors your product and your business too. You're really sending it out with a methodology that's going to get it looked at.
Fantastic.
Part of the power of this app is being able to see when someone has looked at your information so that your follow-up's effective. When you build for an event, when you build for a Zoom and you're using someone else's link, some of our Zooms are huge and we can't see who's on there. It gets challenging to know whether they're there, or they phone in and it just says iPhone and you have no idea whether they're there or not. When you build your calendar and you use the link from within the app, they are connected to you so that at the end of that event, and they can reach out right to you. They're actually going to get a place where they can say, hey, thanks for watching. They're going to see a page. So it's really powerful to keep that connection. Again, this is all about a relationship, and having that opportunity to have that event invite connected directly with you is tremendously powerful. So thank you again for reminding everyone of that, Antoine, because that is one of the huge, huge aspects of this. That's so cool.
Okay, so let's go to Chris now. Chris, do you have a question?
Hi, actually, it's Mark in Rhode Island. It just says Chris's iPad. Anyways, so what I've been doing is talking to people first and let them know what I'm doing and letting them know that I'm going to send them information. And then I've been mostly sending it through text. Does it matter if you send it through text or email?
No. In today's day and age, a lot of people prefer texting, so they're going to see it faster. And Jen can tell you the statistics on that. But what I was going to say with the only disadvantage with texting is that you should always have permission before you do so, because the mobile cell providers are getting more and more big on blocking links unless there is a two-way communication. So you just cannot start sending links out to people without already establishing a text message that says, hey, I've got something interesting. Are you open to watch something? And then there is a text back from them that says yes.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of been doing. And I've been using it through the resources. That first one that pops up, I can't remember what it was, but and then it's the one with the survey. But sometimes I use that one. Yeah, no, the get commit, yeah, and the survey one. But when that pops up, sometimes instead of having all that text there, I just take that text out and say, hey, I'm going to send you some information on At Cost Metals. Is that okay? And then and I already tell them to just text back okay once, and then I start sending them the other stuff.
And let me show you something. So you took this, you said you scrapped it. I don't like it. It's not applicable for what I need it for. And you made your own. Well, guess what? You can just copy what you made and create your own. Check this out. You're going to close this. See at the very top, it says company and personal. If you click on personal, you can click on add new. You can say, this is my favorite intro, whatever you want to call it, something that's going to remind you what it is. And then you're going to dump it in here. You're going to take the words out of here and put in whatever you want. And, up here as well, you're going to, whatever you want here. And then here's what's really cool. You click on use the company resource for whichever resource that you want. How cool is that? So let's say I want to do the MS70.
Love
and
that.
Then you put whatever, these are just generic kind of little tabs. So you find a tab you like and you just hit save. So now so everyone's saying, I need a script for this demographic. I need a script for that. If your leader has provided you that, or you have already realized what works for you, do this so that you're not wasting time every single time. So you don't have to, if you know that your favorite go-to under peak is, let's say the majority of people that you are working with are over 50 and you want to do the intro, then make a personal for the intro for retirees with your own verbiage and make it easy so that when it's time for you to send it, let's go to a contact. Let's say you're going to send it to me. You click send resource. You just simply click on personal. You'll then click on miscellaneous, whichever one you have. And it's going to be the same thing. But this time it's going to be your verbiage. And obviously, I didn't put that in, but how cool is that? That's so awesome. I was like saving all these different notepads with different verbiage. And once I realized I could do this was a game changer. So guys, utilize, and we're going to do a training just on this feature. So that's coming up. Exciting.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I agree. Well, first of all, when I first saw the at cost metal, I had a goal of starting to save silver and gold. So it accomplished that goal right away. And I had been in other network marketing companies and I was like, man, this is so simple and easily duplicated. And that's, the number one thing in network marketing is for it to be duplicatable. And it was so simple and you can train someone in no time. And then when you put this on it, that just puts it on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, real excited about it. And I'm trying to get up to that top of that leaderboard.
Good. Well, we'll see your name at the top. Well, thank you for your question. All right. And now we only have till top of the hour, guys. So I want to limit it to one question per person. So Christy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Oops, there we go. And ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Don Marie. Thank you, Antoine. So appreciate you guys. I'm sorry, but several really quick questions. I will keep it very brief, though. Where do you want the articles sent that you said that you would like if somebody found information to send to you?
Oh, yes, please. Please send them to me on Telegram. That's really the easiest way. Find me on Telegram under Bullioness, and you can send me a message that way.
Okay, great. When I opened my app, it said that there was a way that for advancement or something that it would cost, but the rest of it was free. Can you please explain that real quick?
Yes, there is a free version that's really robust. We wanted to make sure that everybody could, on the free version, could stay on the free version as long as they wanted, and that they could have all the resources available to really be able to close their sales. And then the premium version is $24.95 a month. And there will be a top banner that says if you want to upgrade to Pro, you can do that. And we do recommend that once you find value with this app, and it's making money for you by closing deals for you that you go ahead and upgrade to it whenever that's good for you, because that will open you up to all the features. And that's going to help you with the follow-up and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the free version gives you all the resources and the email campaign. So these are the things that are pivotal for you to close with.
Don, if I may add.
Yes.
Because I started on the free version first. I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to get used to it. And then I just paid for the year. Wasn't there a discount if you paid for the year?
Yes. You get 2 months for free when you pay for the year.
Okay.
It's nice.
Hello,
all right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. So real quick, can you explain, if we did upgrade to the premium, what features is going to be beneficial? Like what features are available?
The big thing with the difference between the standard and the advanced is you see your hot prospects. You also have your activity log, and you also have your stats. And the stats did it for me. I wanted to be able to support people with what were their numbers, what were their ratios, and what was my team doing. So if I could see someone was creating a lot of exposures and not necessarily getting a lot of engagements, I would know to reach down to that person. Might have been a number of levels below, and I would know to coach that person, and I would know what to coach that person on. So it's powerful information. It's just going to give you more insights on what's happening.
This is the promotion, and we've tied it in with the AdvNav app. So you must get a minimum of 75 engagements just to qualify during the month of April. And then whoever from that point has the highest QV, first, second, and third, will win the prizes. And so this is why when I can't remember if it was Jim or who it was that was asking the question, but it's really important that you take the time to add each contact and send the link out so it's trackable, so you get your engagements up to at least 75. And that is not a hard number, guys, because if you're doing 5 a day or 8 a day and you're just getting permissions, of course, and sending them out, that is way doable. But just as a reminder, this is the challenge for next week for you to do before next week's Funnel Friday. And that is go to the contacts and search through the prospects by 5-star, new to old, most recent, review your activity log, and pick your 3 hottest prospects to follow up with. So that's your homework. That is your challenge. If you choose to take it, we highly recommend you do that. Antoine, would you like to close? Do you have any final thoughts?
Fantastic job on the training. Thanks for the support from Rapid Funnels and the team. I thank you, Don, for the support and all that you do and the value that you bring. Even the leaders, guys, thank you guys so much. This is a great tool. We're just getting started. We're really, truly are still in the infancy stages up at Cosmeto, and we're going to get a lot better in terms of where we are. It takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams, but we are the visionaries. It starts with us. And let's just lead by example with a great attitude, the attitude of gratitude. And let's just not only make a difference in our own personal worlds, but let's help make a difference in the world. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in.